calling 911 on a narcissist can be life-changing. I mean, so many things happen. You are, you know, entering into a legal arena. You end up being at risk or being sued for, your property and your children. So many things can take place when you call 911 on a narcissist. It's definitely going to cause a narcissistic injury. And even before you called 911, there was already a narcissistic injury caused because they, have really fragile egos. And anytime that ego is injured in a way, something just sets them off. They just click, something that happened in their childhood that just set them off, and they just really felt like they had to just lash out and attack you. Not the way to handle things, definitely not the way to handle things. Physically attacking someone, taking their property, or whatever the narcissist done. A lot of people call 911, to report an injury or an accident or to report a crime being committed. And usually with narcissists, that's what you will be reporting in many ways, because they will break the law. They will turn into real criminals, like the ones you see on FBI shows and, on television. They will, the ones that are behind bars in jail, they turn into real criminals. Just the only thing is that they are not behind bars yet. So your whole world starts spinning because the narcissist is out to get you. They're out to punish you. And a way to make it look like they never did anything wrong. So, yeah, I'm going to talk about that. You have to, at some point, everybody gets tired and you call the narcissist out on their stuff, and they don't like it. You ask them to leave, or, you want to end a relationship or get a divorce or whatever. And that just really sets them off. And sometimes it's just that ego, that narcissistic injury turns into narcissistic rage. Whatever it was that they're insecure about, maybe they've been kicked out as teenagers. Maybe their parents couldn't tolerate them anymore. And then the fact that you're putting them out again, that may be something that they're real sensitive about, and it just sets them off and sends them into rage. Because, nobody really wants to be out on the streets, but right is right and wrong is wrong. If the place is in your name and you have, the right to do so, the narcissist doesn't look at that as being your place or what rights you have. That's where their sense of entitlement comes in with them. They feel entitled to everything that you have, everything that you worked hard for. And they feel entitled to punish you, to discipline you, to lash out at you. And they don't want to be held accountable for their actions. We all know that they have a big issue with being held accountable. So they go into like this crazy mode where they are just, they don't sleep. They are starting smear campaigns. They're working in your families, talking to your grandmother, your brothers, your sisters, getting everybody to feel bad for them and manipulating the weakest links. They operate off of, manipulating the people that they feel like that are easy. They love easy wins. So the person that is the weakest minded, the narcissist is going to get them on their side. They're going to work so hard to get this person on their side and fully support them and turn their backs on you. Anything that you've been through with them, they really go so hard that it's just unbelievable to a lot of victims. And then when you tell people your stories, a lot of people just can't believe what you went through. They just don't believe it, because it's like something out of a movie. The narcissist is sending you letters, anonymous letters in the mail, because they can't really, get to you like they want to. They are, stalking you at a nightclub. They're stalking you on your way to work. They're, at the gym outside in the parking lot before you go in at 5:30 in the morning. They're everywhere. It's just like something out of the movies. Like, I know y'all seen that Dirty John show on Netflix. It's just a lot of them, it's important to know what kind of narcissist that you're dealing with, whether you're dealing with a covert or a psychopath or a malignant narcissist. It's just important to know and understand and to get with support groups, domestic violence support groups, so you can understand how to really truly protect yourself. And it just takes some training and some learning to really understand that these individuals, they have no limits. They will do whatever they feel like they have to do to get you back into control and get everybody to side with them and everybody to hate you. And they are known to try to get their victims arrested, even though they did nothing wrong. And that's when you realize that's why there's a legal system. You realize that there are two people that have a disagreement on something, and you go to the legal system to get it settled. And then you realize that how the legal system plays out. You end up realizing, like, wow, I went through this situation. Now I have to prove this situation to, those in power. And it's very difficult to do because you have to prove, you have to have some sorts of evidence, and then you have your testimony, your story. And then the narcissist, the problem with that, the narcissist is saying what you said happened, didn't happen. And then you just in utter disbelief that they just can't even admit to what they done. If they do admit something, it's really not going to be something harsh. It's going to be something lighter, or, and then they're going to use all these manipulative tactics. Like, they might admit to, yeah, I was at an apartment, but I never hit her, And then you're in disbelief because you can't believe that they went from being this person that you were in a relationship with, that you thought you loved or you were in love with, and that would be so harsh to you, that would treat you so cruelly, so badly. And you're realizing that they're doing what they have to do to protect themselves, to save their butts, because they don't want to go to jail. Then you're in a whole situation of, lots of stress, trying to prove your innocence. And the narcissist is trying to prove their innocence. And then they are getting witnesses. They're lying, having people to lie for them. They are actually intimidating you outside of court, And then you're realizing that, hey, I actually have to protect myself. May have to get a gun license. I may have to carry a pocket knife because I don't know what this person's going to be at. They're stalking me. I can't even go anywhere in peace because every time I turn around, this person or a flying monkey is somewhere where they shouldn't even be. I don't deal with these people anymore and look at the situation between us, the conflict. Why are they at my school? Why are they, attending my church? A flying monkey. Even the narcissists, can't do the dirty work. They'll put the flying monkey on the job, and they are often a little bit more sloppier than a narcissist, They'll often slip up. They're supposed to be stalking you, but you'll end up seeing them because some of them they just are not as, crafty as the narcissist is, You'll end up seeing the person that's stalking you. You're not really supposed to see the stalker because that's what they're doing. They're stalking you, but they're sloppy. So you realizing that you have to go to the local police department and ask them for tips and ways to protect yourselves. And they'll tell you, lock your car doors at night, close the garage all the way, get an alarm system. And then you go from having freedom and being just living your life a certain way in society to living differently. Your whole life changed. You really don't have the type of freedom that you once used to have. You actually, honestly, it's like your life is a movie. You're just watching it play out. You have to honestly protect yourself. You're watching your back, and then you're going to court. Then you're paying for legal fees, and everything is just upside down. Your whole life is upside down, causing you to go from being a, normal person who didn't have much stress to being a person that actually has depression and post-traumatic stress disorder and all these things going on because of the narcissist. Putting in all of this effort and time to twist everything around and to manipulate people just so they don't have to be held accountable for their actions. They just feel entitled to, you know, getting a pass. They may look at it like, yeah, you know, I had to slap her upside the head, but she shouldn't have put me out. That's my house too. You know, just a very selfish, you know, individual. No, they're not going to admit that, but you know, they know what they've done to you. Yes, they do remember what they have done, but they need to twist the story to work for them. This is how you can tell the narcissist has memory, because some people just cannot believe it. You know, the way you see things happen and the way you hear that they're telling their story, it's just, it makes you feel like you checked out. You actually mentally checked out, because it's just so hard to believe that they're saying that they never were violent towards you. These things never happened. They're working so hard. They got witnesses, character witnesses, saying that this person is a nice person, and you know that's not the case. You know, because behind closed doors, you've seen how cruel they are. So their memory of the narcissist is that they only remember things that make them look good. It's so sad. They may remember, you know what? Yeah, we did live together for 5 years and we never had those issues. And you like, okay, so you remember we lived together for 5 years. How about the fact that you did attack me in the place that we lived together at? Oh, nope, that didn't happen, right? So then you realize at that moment that it's nothing wrong with their memory. They're just protecting themselves. That they are doing all this, they're trying to punish you and they're trying to control you, but they're also protecting themselves because they don't want to go to jail. You know, that's when they remind you of teenagers. You know, they do stuff, they're learning, they may, you know, skip school or something like that, and then, you know, the school called the house and you confront them about it and they say, I was just late to the class. I didn't, you know, I didn't miss the class. They probably forgot to write it down that I was present, you know, just flipping the situation around. I'm not saying all teenagers are bad, but I'm just saying, just as an example, you know, it just, they try to turn the situation around and they don't want the accountability from what they did. Now, it's hard to accept accountability even for people that are not narcissists. You know, they do things. They may run a red light or, you know, speed a little bit, and then when you officer pulls you over for a ticket, you're just like, I didn't see that, you know, speeding sign, because you're hoping like hell they let you off. But you know you've done something wrong. You just really don't want to accept accountability. But a lot of people will say, you know what, some people that have morals and that are, you know, trying to be the right thing, they'll go and be honest, say, yes, I was speeding, but, you know, I technically thought that I didn't know the lane expired that was, you know, 65 miles an hour, you know. Some people can't admit and tell the truth. The narcissist, the difference is the narcissist is not going to tell the truth. They're going to flip it around and say, you know, the officer was harassing them and they pulled them over because of something, or, you know, some type of issue, prejudice or something. They really would do anything or say anything, you know, to avoid that accountability. They're very selfish. And their victims, they put them through so much emotionally and mentally. It's just amazing. It's powerful that all of their victims, that many of their victims are still here today, still surviving, still, you know, moving forward because of, you know, all the stuff that they put you through, not just the actual situation as far as the abuse, but years later, they're still trying to ruin your reputation, still into, you know, just trying to bring you down. It's just insane what they would do. You know, that's why you have to really be careful out here, really know what type of narcissist that you dealt with. You know, those on the further end of the spectrum they are ruthless. They will do anything. They will even harass your family members, the ones that, you know, are helping you. They don't like you to have help. They want you by yourself. They want you singled out so they can try to destroy you quicker. They will set up situations, then go downtown and play the victim, crying to the judges. And the judges just have such a hard time trying to distinguish who the victim is and who the, you know, the I'm sorry, my brain is frozen up. But they have who the perpetrator is. You know, they have a hard time because a narcissist is acting, turning on the tears, turning on the waterworks, and you're just sitting here like, this is unbelievable. And the judges may not be as harsh on their sentences because of the narcissist. You know, they are so confused. The narcissist is going to cause confusion and chaos if they can't control the situation, and they're going to cause confusion. They're going to overtalk you, cut you off, cry, bring all that emotional manipulation out so they can get a slap on the wrist if all else fails. They work hard to flip situations around. They're really evil, purity evil. The type of individuals, I don't even care if it's a covert narcissist. You have to stay away from all narcissists to kind of become mentally healthier. You know, being around one narcissist, and I know, you know, some situations are very unfortunate, such as, you know, being in a work environment, but they are toxic and dangerous. They are, you know, they will say anything. They will lie. They are really big on using the legal system to hurt their victims, though. They are really big on that. Really obsessed with winning, you know, obsessed with beating their victims and putting their victims in a situation where some people actually do the unthinkable to themselves because of the narcissist. You know, some of their victims that they have, you know, I won't say the word, but it starts with an R and ends with an E. The narcissist will say, well, you know, she wanted it, you know. They will lie and twist situations and set you up. They got to. They work very hard to do things. And you have to go into a world where you live in a lifestyle where you don't have many friends, because you don't know if, you know, they would turn their back on you if they ever met the narcissist, or where the narcissist would try to, you know, get these new friends on their side. You have to live in a different mindset, a different lifestyle. You know, you have to start all the way over, deleting your social media because they'll be stalking you, trying to figure out where you're at, trying to figure out what you're saying about them. And depending on whatever legal contracts you have, it may be a situation where you can't say anything bad about them online because they want to shut you up. They want to silence their victims. That's what's really messed up. You can't even tell your story and let people know that you're survived, what you went through. That's very motivational and helps a lot of other people, but they want to silence their victims, and the legal system helps them. They'll say that, oh, you know, what if your kids that you share together saw this? Yes, we understand that, but if we're telling you that we would never show our kids what we said bad about the other parent, why is it that it doesn't matter? You can't say anything bad about them, or you're at risk for losing some time with your children or losing custody. It's like the system kind of enables the narcissist. It's just a really tough situation to think about, but legally you're gonna have to, you know, get your lawyer. You're gonna have to do a lot of research in psychology to understand, and a lot of understanding about domestic violence, and just really educate yourself, really dig deep so you can understand their behavior patterns, understand when you have caused a narcissistic injury again. You know, they don't just get injured one time. It can happen again. They can get mad at you again down the line. If you're in a legal system against them, they can get mad a year later and come back around wanting revenge. You know, you're going to have to really be careful with these individuals, though. But yeah, it's just, you know, if you do call 911, if you do get the law involved, you're going to have to deal with a lot. It's not just you just going down there and getting the help that you need. You actually have to protect yourself, and you actually have to defend yourself, because a narcissist is going to try to get you arrested, project what they did onto you, because they don't want to be held accountable for it. They don't want to go to jail, you know. So that's all that I have, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video.